At the drive, 2nd and 8 on the 25 of the Eagles. Here's Rice again. And Rice is hit at the 21-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Andre Waters making the stop. So 3rd and 4 is the call, and Carter to the left, Jones to the right on the 21. Now they send Fenny in motion. Kramer, and wide open is Rice. First down and inside the 10. Waters again on the tackle. Well-designed play, and Rice wide open and a gain of 12. 5 minutes have gone by in the first quarter. The Vikings have had the ball all the way. They have a 1st and goal at the 9, threatening to take the first lead of this game. Alfred Anderson with the carry, and Jerome Brown wraps him up, and actually 4. Ball on the 7, 2nd and goal. Alfred Anderson goes up the middle, drives and scores. I didn't catch any overconfidence on that drive.
Not at all. They look very smooth.
Against the Bears for his club. He's up 7-0. Now let's see what the Eagles do on their 35. First down. Keith Byers will lose yardage. Keith Millard and Chris Dolman both stormed in. You can always expect a big effort from that man.
That was a story of the Bill field goal drive. It's now 2nd and 2. Steelers on their 28. Up the middle, they got the first down. And that's Ernest Jackson of Texas A&M, brought down by Cornelius Bennett.
Far more effective.
First down. Steelers on their 37, trailing 3-0. Red backfield. That's Stone. Stone is slipping. He slipped on the kickoff. And as he tried to make his cut, as you saw him, his feet flew out from under him again with Darryl Talley on it. No score. The Jets and Lions. Cincinnati undefeated, leads the Browns. New England, Houston, no score in the first period. Miami leading the Colts. They've lost 3 in a row. Minnesota ahead of the Eagles. And they're all in the first period. And Dallas ahead of Atlanta. Tampa Bay, New Orleans no score. 2nd down, 9. Steelers from their 39. Brisker, time in the pocket. The pass was too high for Dwight Stone. Bad pass that time by Brisker. The habit of just following one receiver with his eyes, Al.
Yeah, I noticed that, Curt, preparing for this game, and we'll watch it during the course of it to see if he continues.
Merle Hodge and Rodney Carter in the backfield. They're better pass receivers. And Jackson and Stone. Lockett's in there for a 3rd wide receiver. It's 3rd down and 9 for the Steelers. As Thompson in motion. Brisker throwing the ball over the head of the receiver on the sideline, Merle Hodge, coming out of the backfield. Shane Conlon was going back to cover Hodge.
Now, what made that effect?
1st and 2nd down, and then let's take a shot at him on 3rd down. Or let's open up with a play-action pass on 1st down and try for the bomb to Carter or Hassan Jones.
The Vikings have rushed twice as much as they've passed. They have a 2nd and 9 on the 11. 2 tight ends in there. They can get a first down without scoring. Kramer fires, incomplete.
The Vikings want to do.
Kramer continues to wear that gizmo in the back of his shirt for his neck.
The hunchback of Minnesota. And he doesn't mind being called that. Just don't call him a linebacker.
3rd and 9 now on the 11. Inside handoff to Allen Rice. And Rice is stopped short of a first down. He gets to the 5, and that's all. So now Chuck Nelson flexing his kicking leg, ready for the call. Waters and Hogue on the stop. Scribner holds. And the kick is perfect. So the block punt allows the Vikings to come back with 3 more points. And a 22-yard field goal gives Minnesota a 10-0 lead.
Thomas is the 2nd leading ball carrier in the AFC to Eric Dickerson of the Colts. 3rd and 1, and they're going to pass out of the shotgun. Kelly throws, and the pass is intercepted by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh grabs it on. Well, the Bills get a first down now on their 46. There goes Thomas, and he's hammered. Hit hard there by Greg Carr from Auburn. 2nd and 8. Kelly will put it up. Wide open. Out of bounds for Burkett. Chris Burkett coming into this game had caught 4 passes for 61 yards, averaging 17.2. That one goes for 13 yards.
And Woodruff gave him too much room.
New Orleans strikes first against the Buccaneers, and it's Hebert now. He has thrown more touchdown passes than anybody in the NFC. That's number 7 going to Lonzell Hill. 7-0, back to Dick.
Cunningham trying to get untracked. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles on the 30. Chased by Goldman. Now by Millard. And the pass thrown where no Eagles roam. There were no Eagles within 15 yards of the play. David Howard might have tipped the ball.
We have 2nd down, 11. Buffalo on the 26-yard line of the Steelers. 3-0 Bills. And in the spread backfield. Kelly to throw. Wide open. There goes Burkett. Burkett's in the end zone. He was wide open down the middle.
Now, you know, you make a decision, and of course, Chuck Knowles did not want Woodson to move. Put Woodruff in there. He hasn't played very little in the preseason. He was almost in a bump-on-run situation.
Marion Motley. Motley.
Leroy Kelly.
Great play. Incomplete. Kelly overthrew him, threw it too high and hard to Ronnie Harmon. All right, Norwood, who has made 9 consecutive field goals, will try a 39-yard attempt. This one is up, and it is good. And he's got 10 in a row. And with 5 seconds to go, he's kicked the Bills into the lead at halftime. The Steelers had the ball and let him get away.
Fashion on the Packers. Neil Anderson has scored 2 touchdowns. Here he is following his offensive line into the end zone, Dick.
Well, I guess they heard what Ed Hughes said to that offensive line. It took them a quarter, though, to really kick it in, but they're starting to play some good ball.
Well, you can understand why they started slowly, because Green Bay was expected to play 6 linebackers on defense. It took that offensive line a few plays to adjust, and after they did that, it's just been simply power bear football.
Irv, we get an update on that Cincinnati-Cleveland game. The Bengals are poised on the 1-yard line. They lead it right now, 17-10. They have not yet gone to the half. Pittsburgh has taken a 1-point lead over, or check that. Norwood has just kicked a field goal moments ago for the Bills. Another one, that's 3 for Norwood in this game now, and they lead the Steelers 16-14. Brister had put the Steelers ahead. New England and Houston, Cody Carlson with a touchdown pass. He's on the comeback after that miserable showing against the Jets a week ago. Philadelphia and Minnesota, the one you're watching. Unfortunately, that umpire was knocked out of action. That slowed this game up. But what a marvelous showing by Randall Cunningham. You remember when he was at UNLV, I'm sure the game broadcasters told you he was an All-American punter out there, and this quick kick was a thing of beauty. I'll tell you, quick is really the magic word with the Eagles when you think about it. They get it back and they strike quickly, and Cunningham goes to Mike Quick for the touchdown. And they take a 14-10 lead there.
Brent, in pro football, you really don't see a lot of quick kicks. And what that tells me is that Buddy Ryan really has a lot of confidence in the defense. Hey, Cunningham, kick it down there and let our defense go in there and stop them. You
know, confidence indeed, Dick. You know, Reggie White has 3 sacks first half of this game, you know, and Buddy believes that he demands great performance out of his defense. They're playing exceptionally well right now, and the strategy worked.
You know, speaking of kicking, Irv, Biasucci has kicked 4 field goals in the first half, 1 of 50 yards, another one of 51 yards. They lead the Dolphins, a touchdown pass from Marino in that game, 39 yards to Hampton. Jets over Detroit as expected, 10-3. New Orleans likewise over Tampa Bay, that's 13-6. Atlanta and Dallas, marvelous afternoon for young Chris Miller. He's the quarterback that Irv Cross went and visited during the week. Watch here. Early on, it was miserable. Deflected ball, and Noonan walks in for the Cowboys. It went to 14-0, and then it was Miller's turn. The former Oregon star lit up that Cowboys secondary with a 68-yard bomb to Stacey Bailey, and it was 14-7 after the conversion. Falcons striking again, and it was Miller, this time to Floyd Dixon from 12 yards out. And the score was tied at 14, and then they took the lead on a field goal.
Could somebody explain me this deal? He gets to go do a piece on Carter, and they bomb the Bears. Then this week he sees Miller, and he's doing a good job against Dallas. I'll tell you what, who's looking for him? Detroit.
That'll test you.
Oh, yeah, look, I am the NFL Today's good luck charm.
Yeah,
Believe
right.
that.
What a front runner. The NFL Today continues after these messages from your local station.
Buffalo Bills leading Pittsburgh 16-14. Jim Kelly, well, he's still depending on his kicker to get most of the points for him, although he did connect for his second touchdown pass of the year. First quarter, 26 yards to Chris Burkett, and Buffalo led it 10-0, but Bubby Brister bringing them back as Burkett was celebrating. Bubby takes it himself, closes it to within 10-7, and then Bubby, who may be his only choice in the second quarter, 5 yards to a good-looking rookie. I like the way Warren Williams has carried the ball. This one, he ran with the pass for the touchdown, but Scott Norwood continues to run that offense with his foot. They're on top at halftime.
10 straight field goals for Scott Norwood. That's ties his own record. You know, it's amazing. Buffalo has been inside the 23 times. They came away with, or actually 4 times because they threw an interception. 4 times they've come away with 3 field goals. They just can't put the ball in the end zone for a touchdown.
And they continue to win as they try to go 4-4-0. They're ahead at halftime. Elsewhere, the Jets lead the Lions 10-3. That game's in the third quarter. The Jets have not allowed a touchdown from their defense since week number 1. Last year, Jets fans were yelling, "Joe must go." Now, perhaps they'll yell he can get a raise. They're playing in Pontiac, Michigan. Mark Gastineau unmolested drills Chuck Long, the Lion quarterback. Gastineau with his 4th sack this year. Now in the second quarter, Ken O'Brien. They're at the Lions 10, dishes it off for McNeil. Easy touchdown, 10 yards. The Jets take a 10-3 lead that game in the third quarter. The Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati big over Cleveland, 24-10 late in the second quarter. Cincinnati's going for 4-0. Bernie Kosar can only watch as Cleveland's down to its 3rd-string quarterback. And some more fumbleitis from the Browns. This time, Kevin Mack stops, picked up by Lewis Billups, who runs it in for the touchdown. Cincinnati went out top 7-0, and it's the nickname team of the league as they've reached halftime or close to it in that game. In addition to Boomer, they have Ickey Woods, the running back. He has 2 touchdowns for Ickey. Houston is leading New England 14-6. That game in the third quarter at the Astrodome. The Patriots, one of the struggling teams, could lead their 3rd straight as Raymond Burry looking for some answers. But Houston is the one getting the breaks. Check out this tip play. Houston on the march. Cody Carlson throws it. Tip. Whoops, there it goes. And Houston has it. Givens to Hill. Now in the second quarter, Carlson, no tip here. Screen play, Alan Pinkett, how good a screen? 51 yards for the touchdown. Houston was wiped out by the Jets last week, coming back against the Patriots this week as they play in the Astrodome. Indianapolis leading Miami 12-7 on 4 Dean Biasucci field goals, 1 of 50 yards and 1 of 51. That game's in the third quarter. Philadelphia leading Minnesota 14-10. That game's at halftime. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback, had to punt once, and he punted it 54 yards. Good job. Chicago was trailing Green Bay 6-0. They've now taken the lead on 2 Neil Anderson runs at 17-6. That game in the third. Dallas was leading 14-0. Atlanta leads 17-14. New Orleans leads Tampa Bay 13-6. That game in the third quarter. Baseball score.
There's also teamwork and timing. Those 5 guys play as almost a separate team within the team. And when one guy messes up, the whole thing is for that play is done. You know, so I mean there's a lot of counting on each other to get the job done every play.
And when the job is done, the average fan only sees a running back basking in the glory of the end zone. The linemen never score the 6 or spike the ball.
When you know you've got your guy kind of whipped, would that be like a personal good feeling?
Oh yeah, it's very rewarding when you see a guy who's a real good talent, physical guy, go from standing up and really taking you on and keeping his head up to ducking his head and trying to keep him getting blown off the ball. And that's rewarding. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it is rewarding.
Brent, those guys are going to do some whipping today, and I got to go with the Rams because of their defense. 21 sacks, leaders. Go get them.
Great defense. You know, one of the things that they have going for them, Dick, is the fact they have 5 linebackers on the field, and no one in the league yet has figured out that defensive scheme yet. The reason for it is that Mark Giroux plays over the nose, hits the center, bounces back as a linebacker sometimes. Other times he goes as a pass rusher, so you never know where he's going to be.
You like the Rams, too?
I like the Rams, too.
Holohan with wide to the right this time. And O'Mell hit in the backfield by Dorsey. Gaston Green, I beg your pardon. The Rams' #1 draft choice. Henry Ellard. And Aaron Cox to the left. Willie Anderson to the right. Everett back to throw. Intended for Cox.
that they got for Eric Dickerson. He was the #1 draft choice. He's a rookie. Jim Everett said, I knew he was a player the first day.
Aaron Cox is split wide to the left. This is Ellard in motion. 2nd and 10. Give this to Bell. Bell is hit by Banks in the backfield. Lost. He goes about 290. Willie Anderson, who can really fly, split wide to the right. Rams go with 3 wide receivers. Everett goes back to throw. Up into the pocket. Willie Anderson was open. Everett had to move up. Rams say they have it. It was Kevin Green again who applied the pressure.
That was John Elliott. He just beat him on a speed rush. Watch him right here. Here's Elliott. Green is just going to come right around him and get to Sims here. Watch him here. Elliott has to turn out. There he is. He just runs right by him and hits Sims and knocks the ball out. Elliott goes for it and doesn't get it.
Doug Reed is the man who got it.
That's what Bill Parcells said. He said last week Elliott had too tall. I didn't worry about it as much last week as this week. He has those linebackers and their speed guys that just run around you. I worry more about him with speed than with strength one was pumping.
Greg Bell, the lone setback. Holohan goes in motion. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Dorsey.
It should have been anyway.
2nd and 11. Holohan on the move again. To about the 6. Mark Collins made the stop. A gain of 11. 6. Greg Bell inside the 5, just barely. Mark Collins came up to lead the defense. 2nd and goal from the 5. Everett straight back. Outside to Del Pino. Touchdown. Heavy pressure by Johnny Cooks, but Everett got the ball off to the rookie from Missouri. They really like him.
I'll tell you they do, because he's not only a good runner, but he's a good pass receiver. As a matter of fact, at one time he was a wide receiver. But watch Everett, how he throws off his back foot. He's getting the big rush, and he throws going away. You're not supposed to do that, but when you have a guy wide open and uncovered, you can even throw off your back foot going away.
When you got somebody right in your face again, too, you have to. Lansford with a Holohan holding. And with 8:03 left in the first half, it's the Rams 14, the Giants 3. Both scores as a result of turnovers.
Buy 15 rolls of any Owens Corning pink insulation now and get your favorite NFL team jacket free.
For your dream. And for one super athlete, the dream is worth its weight in gold.
Now that's the American dream.
Very well, and I think that's the difference between a well-coached team and an average coach team, where they do the best things, like Kevin Green being a linebacker but becoming a pass rusher.
Giants have 3rd and 18 from their 17. Sims. Pass is picked off by, it's intended for Ingram. It's Jerry Gray on the return, and Gray is out of bounds at the Giant 22.
They get a punt block, then they hit the quarterback, then they get a fumble, then they come back with
1st and 10 from there. Bell alone setback. Holohan starts in motion. Reverse coming to Henry Ellard. Ellard down inside the 15 to the 14 where he slipped. Faced by Mark Collins. A gain of...
They're running play. They aren't. This is going to be with 2nd down. It will be a run.
Bell. Outside of Bell. Flag is down in the end zone. Bell is down at about the 1.
Holding, 52 defense, 1st down.
Holding against Pepper, turned up at tight end to the right side.
and goal for the 2. Hands-on is to Buford McGee, and there's nothing there for him. Bell and McGee are the setbacks behind Everett. Back to Bell. Touchdown, Rams. Bell from 2 yards out.
I was talking about Tom Newberry being one of the best run-blocking guards in the league. I'll tell you, did he block on that play? You talk about a guy, watch 66 as he comes out here. He's just going to take that pile, watch 66 here, take that pile and just knock it back into the end zone. Look at that. And then Bell just gets right in trouble with your pass protection and then not having your ends be able to get open against the coverage. That makes for a long first half offensively.
I'll tell you, the clouds are moving in over the stadium, and they're hovering mostly over the Giant bench.
Maybe that's what the Giants need, is a good shower. Kind of wet them down, hose them down a little, get them wet, get them going.
Everett going for more. Chark. Aaron Cox. Cox breaks 2 tackles, and he is gone again. He did not go out of bounds. He caught a big one last week against the Raiders, and now he has another one.
And he was just out there on Perry Williams. Perry Williams is the fastest defender of the Giants, and Aaron Cox just ran right by him.
One of their prized rookies.
But it's going to be out to the right of the screen. You see Everett, he's looking for Cox on the up all the way. He just gets a step on Williams. Williams misses a tackle. Cox just runs through another tackle.
Adrian White.
I tell you, that is some play.
The Rams 28. The Giants 3 with 2:37 left to play. Dickerson trade.
Well, yeah, and look how much you're helping the Rams this year. Of course, Greg Bell is
Keep the pressure on the Los Angeles from Neil Anderson, the running.
What a nifty run. You know, he blasted off his right tackle with a great deal of authority, and once he hit the open field, of course, you know, nothing ever daylight. 6 points.
Big game in the AFC Central, and the Cincinnati Bengals hang on. 24-17. This really was the biggest play of the afternoon. Came early. A fumble by Kevin Mack, and watch Lewis Billups. He scoops it up, dashes 26 yards for a touchdown. Now, the Bengals did have Chris Collinsworth back today, and right away, Boomer Esiason goes long to him. Ball is tipped. Watch Chris. He's a marvelous receiver. Get it on the 1-yard line, and from there, the Bengals pop it in. It's Ickey Woods, 2 touchdowns, and the Bengals, Dick, are 4-0.
Well, I thought Cleveland was going to give them a little stiffer time, although they accumulated over 300 yards against this Bengals bad defense. But I forgot to mention about, there's also other phases of the game, like fumble recoveries and running them back to score.
And wins and losses, too.
So much for the stats.
All right, Buffalo stays 4-0. 36-28 over Pittsburgh in that game. This was the day of the blocked punt. Look at this one by the Bills. Here comes Rob Riddick for the score.
Boy, I tell you, special teams play was really hot all over the league today. And, of course, Marv Levy, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, worked with me in Philadelphia on the Eagles staff, and he was our special teams coach there, and he's always believed in coming up with big plays on special teams.
All right. Well, the Houston Oilers, they rebounded after that nightmare against the Jets. 31-6. Cody Carlson came back. He was 8 of 17, a pair of touchdowns. Alan Pinkett, twice this year he scored 3 touchdowns. Watch the former Notre Dame star here. What a nifty run this is. What a comeback by the Oilers in this one, Dick.
Well, I wonder if Coach Jerry Glanville left that ticket there for Paul Revere. We were going to make note of that last week, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that, all right? Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings survived, but they had a scare. Randall Cunningham and the Eagles really backed them up against the wall. In the late going, it was the Vikings who had taken the lead, but what a critical play this was. Wade Wilson scrambling into the end zone, injured his shoulder, and he got knocked out of the game. Then Cunningham was able to rally the Eagles. What a brilliant tight end Keith Jackson is. Candidate for Rookie of the Year already. That put the Eagles ahead. But with only 18 seconds remaining, Chuck Nelson hit a 32-yard field goal, and Minnesota won it early.
Boy, what a heavyweight matchup that was. 13 sacks. The Eagles picked up 5, and Minnesota picked up 8. It was a real heavyweight slugfest, and, of course, it took a kicker to win it.
All right. Meanwhile, Indianapolis over Miami, 15-13. Speaking of a kicker, Biasucci kicked 5 field goals, 50 and 51 yards. That was the length of 2 of them. The New York Jets came back and won again, 17-10 over the Detroit Lions this afternoon. What a combination this has been for the Jets this year. Here is Kenny O'Brien, Wesley Walker, 27 yards, and really that was the game breaker. And, oh yes, I don't know if Bridget makes road trips, but here is Mark Gastineau. Take over, Mark.
Is that a pony tag? Oh, I detected back there. You know, there was a guy, Dickie Post, used to play with the Chargers. He used to give it a yank every time we caught it. I don't know if I'd do it to Gastineau, though.
Tampa Bay and New Orleans, and the Saints win this afternoon. 13-9 was the final in that game. There was a fine football game down in Dallas. Unfortunately, Chris Miller, the splendid young quarterback for the Falcons, was knocked out because of an injury, and the Cowboys are able to come back. Now, early on, Miller was behind a couple of scores. Look at this deflected pass, and Noonan, he kind of waltzed on in for the Cowboys. And watch this kid's arm. He's out of Oregon. And I mean, look at this bomb. Stacey Bailey covered 68 yards. You don't see a long pass play any prettier than that one right there. But this is the play now coming up here that knocked Miller out. Look, he is scrambling in the end zone. Cowboys going for the safety. Get it. Randy White moving up, and he is buried. And he had to leave the field on a golf cart. They took x-rays, however, and they were negative. And then late in the game, Irv, it was Plur to Alexander, a slick sideline move, and he gets on in for the touchdown.
What a ball game Steve Plur played today. In the first half, he only threw for 22 yards.
And look out for him. It's net on you. You fill up the helmet. Got some stuff hanging out of it.
Looks like the helmet's not quite big enough.
That's good, though. You got to have some stuff hanging out.
Outside to Damone Johnson. Holohan is the movement. Handoff is to Bell. He'll have first down and more as he hammers into Giant territory.
He'll feel that tomorrow.
Gained 76 yards. Everett out of the pocket. He's going to take off with it. And he slides for a Ram first down. 15. He's not known for his running ability.
No idea what's going to happen at the end. Your circumference of your eyes will grow by at least 10 centimeters.
If you're human. Mark Herman talking to him. The Rams backup quarterback. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Rams 35, the Giants 24. We now pause for a word from your local station. Bell and Del Pino.
They're all very good run blockers. If you can't run block, you can't play for the Rams.
Bell and Del Pino, and Everett retreats. Ooh. 20. Everett trying to get away. Can't do it. Chased down by Getting there. So Lansford will try this time from 41 yards. Just missed from 31. This one.
Get lucky every once in a while, Pat. And John, I'll tell you what, we had the defense turn the ball over for us and it gave us an opportunity to get down there and have the chance to throw the ball down there.
You know, the thing that impressed me, Jim, on 3 of your touchdown passes, the first one to Pete Holohan, and then the ones to Del Pino, there was no one on those guys. Did you know, was that a set play for a set defense?
Yeah, we thought that they would come out in that type of a defense, and we figured that they would really look at our outside guys. So we tried to have Pete Holohan and Del Pino come out of the backfield, and they did a fine job catching the ball.
Well, you have a good trip home. We'll see you in a few weeks. Good luck.
Thank you very much. We'll have a great trip.
Back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you. And so next Sunday,
to have a great running back like Eric Dickerson behind you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I look at your team, no matter who's back there, Eric Dickerson, Charles White, Greg Bell, then you got young Gaston Green who's there, and he's doing a heck of a job when he gets an opportunity. Question is, how do you guys do it? Because the defense knows you're going to run the football 40 times a ball game, but yet somehow you get it done.
Well, the key thing is you've named a bunch of fellas that are #1 draft picks and are very excellent runners. But a key thing is with our offense, look at the guys up front who are making those holes available for those guys. Those guys are doing a great job of making those holes available. Guys like Jackie Slater and Irv Pankey and Tom Newberry, and those guys are just knocking people off the ball. And it seems like whoever seems to get the ball is making big yards. And there's a reason, because those guys are working so hard.
Quarterbacks who have great offensive lines always smile like Jim Everett. Jim, please stay with us. We want to talk to you in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you.
You know, Nick, there's always bring quarterback out of Purdue University, Jim Everett, back and ask him about his defense. But before I ask you about your defense, Jim, earlier in the show today, one of your teammates said, hey, we call him Eddie Haskell. Why did they do that?
I have no idea. It's some strange phenomena. I have no idea what's going on.
Maybe it's because you look like it. Let's talk about your defense and the job they're doing this year compared to a year ago. It seems they have a different personality this year. Last year, in all the games, 38 sacks. Already this year, 25 sacks. What are they doing differently?
Well, I think that the whole philosophy with Coach Robinson, as far as being aggressive, earlier I was talking about our offense being a little more aggressive. I think our defense has turned it on. They have this Eagle defense, 2 down linemen, 5 linebackers, and then even in normal sets they're being more aggressive, putting more pressure on guys like Leroy Irvin and Jerry Gray out the corners, but those guys are living up to all expectations.
Jim, Ernie Zampese, your offensive coordinator, he puts together a very complicated game plan. I know that. Last year you struggled a little bit trying to get it under control. Did the light go on this year for you? Because the cobwebs certainly cleared for you.
Well, I think so. I think I have more confidence with a year under the belt. I think also with some of the new personnel and the acquisition of guys like Pete Holohan from San Diego and their new young receivers, I think everything's starting to gel. It took a little while for Ernie, I think, to get used to us. We didn't have the Charlie Joiners and those type of fellas, and so it's kind of a mutual type thing that he's adapting to us and we're doing the same with him. So. But as far as my personal experience, I know that having a year of experience has helped out a lot.
You're only as good as your last performance, James, and you're 4-0. You'd like to be 5-0, but you have to take on the Phoenix Cardinals. Tell me the problems they present to you.
Well, they run that 4-3 defense. They like to bring pressure from the secondary. So we're going to have to try to make some big plays on that end of it. I think that they've been very stingy versus the run. So we're going to have to buckle up our helmets and just knock heads, which I think that we're used to doing.
John Robinson, your head coach, on the sideline. I know John very well when he was at Southern Cal and other places. He looks like he's so calm. Is that the real John Robinson?
Well, he really is at times. I know in the New York game there at the very end that we were just down in the ball. We had the game won, and I came over to the sideline and asked Coach Robinson that, well, before I down it, do you want me to go down and run about 20 yards back there to waste more time? And I pretty much had him fooled. It was a joke, and got to him. He can be serious, but he's pretty lighthearted, but you can catch him every once in a while.
Jim, thank you very much. Good luck to you and the Rams the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Now, we talked to Jim about his offense and his defense. We didn't mention his special teams because we should. They are doing exceptionally well this year. And
the 4th Olympiad is brought to you